Indiana Jones, It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute, the podcast where we discuss the film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade 1 minute at a time with a few seconds left over to think about Raiders of the Lost Ark. I am Tom Taylor.
I am Pete Mummer.
Gerald Christopher. Really? Porter. Really?
And I'm Dr. Jamie. I'm an archaeologist.
Welcome back, Jamie.
Thank you.
And she's really archaeologist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jamie, really archaeologist.
Yeah, we take one of those Archimedes screws and put it in and check and see. Yeah, she's for real.
See how old she is. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There was a period where she wasn't an archaeologist.
Yeah.
But you can watch if you
You see the pollen here.
Yes.
Though I've wanted to be an archaeologist for a pretty long time. You'd have to go pretty far back in my history to find not an archaeologist.
Would you say since 1981?
I was not born then.
So yes. Technically, yes.
Probably since about 1989.
Oh, very cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And this movie, the Indiana Jones, the saga kind of helped it just put you right over the edge. You're going to be psychology major, and you went, nah, Last Crusade, archaeology.
No, I don't know. I was always wanted to be an archaeologist, except for when I saw Jurassic Park. Then I went through a big want to be a paleontologist phase.
Ah.
Yep.
Sure. Well, cool. Well, right now you're an archaeologist. We're all archaeologists because we're studying minute 32 of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which begins with Indy and Elsa searching for the Christian subdivision of the catacombs, and it ends with Indy dusting off an interesting wall.
But I like that this begins with Indy in full mansplain mode, where he takes her lighter from her and says, "That's right," and then proceeds to explain to her exactly what she was just trying to tell him.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, move over, I'm driving.
It's an extremely relatable moment. Very relatable.
Oh, no. We apologize.
It's interesting that Elsa kind of lets him do that.
That is exactly what I would do in her case, too.
Oh, really?
When someone is mansplaining to you in that manner, it is much easier to just let it happen. Or sometimes I play really dumb to see if he'll figure out what's going on. Like, if I was her, I might be like, really? What's a crusade?
Wow.
That's incredible that you know that.
Your brain is so strong.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't, it's tough because it's like the laughing it really belies this minute. Tommy, look, I've known you my whole life.
True.
Am I going to like what happens to Marcus here in this minute?
You're having a really tough time with Marcus, and I knew you were going to have a tough time with this moment. And I want to ridicule you for not trying hard enough to just accept Marcus for who he is, but also I want to talk you through it, Jerry. I'm here for you.
Okay, all right. So look, let me just am I to believe that three guys wearing very loud fezzes, clippity-clopping their way down a spiral staircase.
Mustaching all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
Ew.
Like, Marcus hears none of this. And I don't even need the headphones on while watching this movie to hear click, clock, clink, clunk as they're walking down with like their wooden-laden shoes or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Marcus, and I'm putting together, this is because Marcus is a useless boat anchor made out of mothballs and Metamucil.
To be fair, many old men have hearing problems due to an adventurous lifestyle.
Yeah.
Also, he's in a library. Like, you could hear footsteps crossing the floor of the library and have it not be something sinister or somebody sneaking up on you.
Not if it's closed. But I have a theory about this.
Well,
because Marcus is not going to be leaning over this hole within a public library that someone has just smashed into this priceless marble, like ancient marble floor,
right?
Not pay any attention to his surroundings. Like that's not, especially anxious, nervous Nellie Marcus as he's been the early part of this movie. I don't buy that.
Right.
And so I think that Marcus is, there's sort of a conspiracy going in here, and Marcus is friends with Kazim and these guys, because if you notice, they slug him. And, he kind of all of a sudden he's lying back with his legs crossed in a relaxed kind of manner of repose. And he reaches up his hand to the guy to drag him off.
Oh, does he really?
He does.
Really?
Oh, I missed that.
All right. We got to Zapruder this.
So I think he's worried that Elsa's got a spy and he wants to play along. So, hey, I don't know these guys.
Oh my gosh, he does move his hand. That's funny.
He totally does.
Wow.
And look at his, he's just he looks so relaxed with his legs crossed when they're dragging off.
And you know what's weird is the way that they cudgel him is very strange and awkward.
Well, and it doesn't look like Marcus. Like he's just, the way he's sitting there, like that doesn't seem at all like what he would be doing, like just staring into the empty hole.
Yeah.
Like he'd be pacing around nervously, like worried the librarian's going to come out.
Right. I mean, it could be that you kind of see him like there the entire time, don't you? I was going to say they just caught him as he took one more look down the thing. He has been looking around but yeah, you might be right.
On the other hand, though, Tom, you and I at least have liked Marcus up to this point in the movie.
Yeah.
So it's possible that everything that happens to Marcus after this point is a result of severe head trauma.
Oh my God.
I think I still like him after this moment.
Okay.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
Well, look, Tommy, just hit me with it. Hold my hand and then slug me if need be. Rip the Band-Aid off if it's actually true. Does Marcus do anything of substance in this movie?
From this point on, or for the whole movie?
What do you mean from this point on?
No, I'm saying in the entire movie, or I'm
just I just put my Marcus running shoes on because he's about to go on an adventure. We're going to see him be on an adventure. Marcus.
I'm not expecting Marcus to be much use in an adventure.
You didn't take Marcus as your confirmation name.
I expect him to be a totally solid, Watson, like I said before, to Indy's Sherlock Holmes. He's we'll get there. I won't say it yet. But I think he's solidly Marcus in a lot of this movie, and I think that's a valuable thing. I think getting the two lovebirds to shut up as they're walking down the canal and say, I don't mean to interrupt, but whatever, I mean, I think there's a lot of good Marcus in this movie, and there's a lot of horrible Marcus, but I would argue that there's more good Marcus than bad, and I think you should just try to relax and cut him some slack. He's out of his element.
But he's not out of his element. He's on an archaeological...
When's he ever been on an archaeological anything?
But number one, he's in a library. He's in a library.
Yeah, but he's not expecting to be cudgeled in a library. Are you when you're in a library?
Well,
are you constantly on alert?
I mean, what's...
Oh, there might be a guy with a fez.
Well, Jerry didn't go to public school, so he might not know.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we didn't have libraries where I grew up.
Yeah.
It's just... Look, all Marcus has to do is hold this diary. Mm-hmm. That's all he has to do. And he can't even do that right.
He does. He doesn't. He still has the diary at the end. Nothing happens to the diary. He's doing an awesome job, Jerry. It's the best part of this movie. And I hate you.
maybe he had to pretend to get knocked out so that they wouldn't ask him for the diary.
Yes. If he started talking to them, they would have frisked him and stuff. Yeah.
It's layers within layers.
The mental gymnastics.
Not all archaeologists are good at being in the field. I have been in the company of archaeologists who should not be anywhere near the field.
Need a skeleton!
Don't eat that.
I'm thinking of one in particular who would supervise women while we did all of the physical labor.
Oh.
And then talk to the press when they showed up. Which kind of seems like Brody's role. Marcus Brody's role. I bet he's great at promoting his museum, getting grants.
At the cocktail party, he'll regale you with his adventures in Venice. Look at that guy.
He loves the cocktail.
Yeah.
But I don't think that he's out there with a shovel.
No.
Yeah.
Ever?
I think it's perfectly reasonable to expect Marcus to get hit on the head with a gun butt. I think
exactly.
I would expect that.
So when Marcus goes, oh, Does the librarian think that that's his stamp?
Oh God. Yeah, he does. He's an idiot.
Nobody
Stupid
hears
old man.
that. Nobody hears any of this. Sees any of it. Stupid old man. Oh my God.
Guys with the fezzes walking down the steps reminds me really strongly of there's a library in Oxford called the Radcliffe Camera, which is like this gorgeous 1700s building, but it has those spiral metal staircases.
Oh, wow.
And the building is fully round, so it's like an acoustic amplifier.
Oh God.
And if you walk down those stairs, everyone in the library knows that you're doing it. So I assume that the old librarian is just used to hearing people go down those stairs, and he's like, oh, it's some more people on those damn stairs, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, can I say something brilliant? Wait. I got to interrupt everybody. I just came up with something brilliant. Last week, I was for some reason I was taken to task for not liking the guy with the stamp and thinking that was somehow stupid and silly and
You
and
don't like the
worthless.
guy with the stamp?
I know. Thank you, Jamie.
She's just confirming he doesn't like the guy with the stamp.
Nope, I love the guy with the stamp.
All right, but okay, here's how it could have worked for me, and this would have been great. You see the guy with the stamp, he does that stupid thing. People like me in the audience hate his guts. Like, would you please fast forward? I'm trying to watch an Indiana Jones movie. Then, after Indy and Elsa go down in the hole, he puts his fez on, his buddies join him, and he's been watching them the whole time, being a goofball, so they don't notice him. And then he clobbers Marcus. God, I'm good at this.
That would have been fine with me. Yeah.
See?
That would have been fine.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't
he's
want to
been
lose
watching-
that great librarian.
Yeah, he's just a nice
No, he's still there. He's
librarian.
just a bad guy now. A bad guy turns into sort of a good guy.
Speaking of bad guy, is the fact that Kazim is wearing a red flower in his lapel mean we're supposed to think he's a bad guy?
I don't know, but I knew that you were going to be the first person to bring that up.
I say bingo, and I slam down my free space.
Yep.
Yes.
Dino
Yeah.
DNA.
The Ark of the Covenant's in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just noticed that for the first time watching this minute by minute.
Seriously?
Yeah, I've seen this movie like
Wow.
50 times, and I never noticed that before.
Where did they talk about it?
I mean, there's like a single line of dialogue.
Yeah. It's pretty. You get the Ark theme and everything. And,
That's
you
a
know.
great joke. Like, that's a
Yeah.
great, his deadpan, pretty sure.
Who are we supposed to think painted that?
Well, okay, so let's we walked through this. We got an Ark of the Covenant cameo. So does this mean that the catacombs date back to 890 BC? and is somebody going to bring up a pagan thing now?
I've got an explanation.
Oh, Pete's got an
sure.
explanation.
Yeah. During the Fifth Crusade, when the Crusaders attacked Egypt, they ended up, when they were attacking Damietta, they very briefly held on to Tanis.
Oh,
nice.
wow.
And so it's possible
No
while they
way.
were in Tanis, some guy saw the Ark and was like, hey.
That would look great on a wall.
Oh, someone else like, hey, we're fighting a war here. Get out here. And they left it there, and then the sand covered it. But the guy got back, and he's like, oh, I got to paint a picture of this.
Yeah. Share it with the world.
I like that.
I'm trying to imagine, like, in the movie, I like that too, Pete, but in the movie, is it, like, at one point, did the knight own both the Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail combo? Like, I mean, somebody clearly whoever painted that, knows what the Ark of the Covenant looks like.
Uh-huh.
And in theory, it's been lost for what, whatever it is, 3,000 years?
Yeah, wouldn't the knight have been dead by the time he got there? He was only there as, like, to be buried, wasn't he? Like, he wouldn't be down there painting frescoes of artifacts and things. Right?
Right.
Well, also, if somebody had the Grail Ark combo, we would just be living in a one-world government with one ultra-powerful emperor sitting on the
Yeah.
throne.
Like, yeah, and you
Right.
couldn't kill the guy.
Yeah, he'd still
Right,
be the same
right,
guy. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you're in a cemetery means that the whole little plan didn't work here,
Yeah.
right? I mean, something went awry.
Someone didn't read the instructions.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, because there's some rules about immortality here. Not to jump ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, shouldn't that give Indy some pause? Like the fact that all these Grail guys have aged and died? Shouldn't he be like, no, wait a minute. What's going on?
I don't think he believes in the immortality thing.
No, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that he's not more curious about the fact that there's a very accurate representation of the Ark on the wall.
Right?
Yeah, I love it. Like, I agree with you, Pete. It's a good moment, and it's a good, like, kind of tossed off, kind of like, yep, pretty sure.
It's a
Yeah.
funny line. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get the Ark theme plays.
I also kind of wish that he I keep picturing like Han Solo in Return of the Jedi when he's looking at the Millennium Falcon, thinking he's never going to see it. Like I want some sort of like kind of the Ark of the Covenant, son of a, like just something like that.
Maybe that's why he's so angry that it got locked up in a crate in a warehouse. He's like, I can't even look at this thing.
Yeah. That's kind of
Next.
Could be.
I like, of all the goofy audience pleasing chin chucks, I do like this one.
Yeah.
And I think it's only because I get to hear the theme.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
doesn't that imply that someone opened the tomb in Egypt before?
Listen,
Sorry.
Jamie,
All
we
right.
can't
Sorry.
even. No, I mean, it's so nuts and bizarre. There's no way we can even. Yes, somebody opened the tomb and they discovered it and they saw it. And then what, they rebury it?
Yeah.
Like, did the back in the Well of Souls?
Right.
Like with all the snakes?
Yeah.
Did they, did they add the snakes themselves? I mean.
Yeah.
How were the snakes reproducing?
Yeah.
What were they eating?
Well, they were from different parts of the world, so maybe they brought some European snakes with them. And,
Right. Some legless lizards.
Yeah, that's why we had such a menagerie of snakes.
Like, when was that even drawn?
Guys,
I don't know.
I'm as confused.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to look at the materials used to draw it. I don't understand. It looks like chalk.
Yeah, like colored chalk, sidewalk chalk.
Yeah.
Oh my God! What if somebody had been down there and that was done like 6 months ago?
What if Indy drew that to impress Elsa?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been here. Yeah, I've been here before.
Yeah.
Well, what if Elsa drew it as just like a little jab at Indy? She's just turning the knife a little bit.
Well, I was gonna say, as an archaeologist and as a Nazi, Jared, cover your ears. As a Nazi, you find out later. Is it possible that she knows all about the story of Indiana Jones and the Ark of the Covenant, and she's playing extra dumb here to sort of like jab at him, like you said?
Well, I've been wondering that. Like, I kept wondering in Star Wars, and they talk a lot about this on Star Wars Minute. Like, did Darth Vader know that Luke Skywalker blew up the Death Star?
Right.
And, like, do the Nazis know the story of Indiana Jones now? Like, do all of them, like Hitler and Himmler, like, are they sitting around like, I hate that Indiana Jones guy?
Yeah. I'd have a hard time believing that they don't know about him.
But they probably don't know what happened at the end of Raiders because there were no witnesses.
That's true.
Right, but they know that like there was this fly in the ointment American archaeologist,
Right.
and then now they don't have the Ark somehow.
Yeah,
Right.
they know they had it in their possession. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they know something happened on Malta.
Right. And I assume that Elsa knows that, and she knows he was involved in that.
Yeah,
Right.
I kind of like thinking that
Yeah.
she knows all about him, and she's gonna get even with him for the motherland.
But it seems like if the Nazis had found like puddles of men in uniforms, like they would have immediately done everything in their power to track down Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
Right.
Like they would have been, what's this super weapon?
Like, literally every Nazi perished. I feel like they would have had a hard time reconstructing what happened.
yeah. Maybe they assumed that he was dead, and then he pops up in Venice all of a sudden, like, wait.
Or, like, they
a
don't
second.
even know that he came with them to Malta, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one thing I'm wondering, is Indiana Jones famous?
I think so.
Cheddar Lal seemed to think so.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
get that in like he's the eminent archaeologist, Indiana Jones here, Dr. Jones.
Oh, but that was because Lao Che put him up to it, wasn't that? He decided he sent him a postcard or something.
Oh, God.
That's what's kind of strange. Is he famous? And if he is, and if the Nazis knew about all this, and then don't you think they might, like, they'd have a tail on him or something?
Yeah.
Or how about this? He lands in Italy, which is an Axis power.
Not Axis yet. Not Axis yet.
Well, they might check a passport or two.
Right. My impression is that Indy is famous in, like, educated circles.
Yeah.
You know?
Although I feel like in the movies, he's supposed to be like, you can imagine him going to any restaurant and they're saying, sorry, we're full. And he's like, I don't think you caught my name. Indiana
Right.
Jones. And they'll be like, oh, sir, table by the window. Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't think of it that way.
I figured he's just like, you didn't see Archaeology Monthly.
Right. I think the problem is that I think of these, like, famous archaeologists, and I'll be talking to someone who's not, and I'll be like, like, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, who is that? And I'm like, come on, like, the preeminent expert on the Celtic world, like.
Where have you been?
Right?
Been stuck in the Well of Souls for the last 2,500 years?
And then I just don't. Now I've been conditioned to think that no one knows any archaeologists. So.
No.
So maybe Indy just like he blends in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I get that. Like, there's, in the world of drummers, there are people that are household names at the drummer's table, but nobody else knows who the hell they are.
Yeah.
Me, for instance. Me. If you haven't heard of me, that doesn't mean no one has.
Who's the Jerry Porter?
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I supposed to know
Gary
this guy?
Porter. Wait. Oh yeah, Gary Porter.
He keeps badgering me to get the suite, the penthouse suite.
Okay, I owe him something. They find another X on that wall.
X marks the spot.
Yeah.
Is this have you found a lot in your archaeological field work that you rub some cobwebs away and you find a big X?
I have never found an X.
Aw.
Dude, we
Ever.
surmise where this X stuff came from, and it's sort of like the pirates and the treasure. Why does X mark the spot?
I don't know.
Does
don't
anybody know
know.
why X marks the spot?
And I don't know why he's suddenly following a trail of X's. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get
I
it.
feel like that's just a little joke in the movie.
I get, but it's they don't comment on it. Like, it's not like you just like you could cork his thumb at it or something. Like, oh, another X.
Well, doesn't he say in Raiders of the Lost Ark when he's giving his lecture, he says like an X never marks the spot or something like that?
Well, that's in this one. That's
That's
really
in this
this
movie.
one.
Yeah.
I can understand your confusion because it's an identical scene that seems like it took place at a different school or something.
In
Apparently.
a school 3,000 miles from the other, but yes.
Stop it! Fair enough.
Well, so thinking about that scene, is it true, Jamie, that 80% of archaeology takes place in the library or the class, or your office or the library?
I think that's definitely true. I mean, because your field season is usually only like a month or two per year, and then you're processing your data and writing it up the rest of the time. So, I would agree with that.
Okay.
All right.
And you already said X doesn't mark the spot. You've never seen an X.
I haven't.
in your Iceland diggings.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
At the bottom of the lake.
A lot of the field work I've done have been with people who don't use the Latin alphabet, so X would be a less common thing to see.
This the X on the wall here makes me think of like it's absolutely out of a video game. Like you're playing a game and you know that you can use something on that wall to break it because there's an X floating over when you hover over it or something.
Yeah.
Or like you actually hit X or something and then the wall explodes or you punch it or something.
Yeah, I have no idea like how Indy knows like where to be looking here.
Yeah.
His process is confusing.
Is this like the end of like the hallway or something? Is it like is this the only place to go and it's a wall so he busts it? And...
Well, he saw the Ark of the Covenant and he was like, oh, okay, this is where I'm supposed to go.
Yeah, I'm on the right track. Will they have anything else for minute 32?
I wanted to bring up something.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're our guest.
Well, thanks. I heard Professor Christy Porter discuss like the Uncle Scrooge DuckTales situation in the past. And
oh, yes.
probably the greatest comic book I've ever read is the Uncle Scrooge Adventures called Guardians of the Lost Library. That's about the Library of Alexandria. And they have a nearly identical section of this comic book where they are underneath Venice looking for the library. So I just wanted to shout out.
Kidding.
Everybody should go read it. It's called Guardians of the Lost Library. Greatest comic book I've ever read.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, if we don't now get a telegram from Professor Christy Porter about that comic book, I'm
Oh my gosh, yeah. I really would love to have her say something about it. oh my gosh, what's happening?
This just in
Here
from
comes.
Professor
This is it.
Christy Porter. When I was younger, there was a comic book
Oh my god.
that...
No, stop.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm like freaking out right now.
All right.
I was going to start crying.
It had to do with libraries and under Venice.
Yep.
No, yes, this just in from Professor Christy Porter. For a sneak around assassins, these guys sure are easily identifiable. I think that's fair.
Nobody in that library notices a thing, though. I think they're going to be fine.
They got fezzes. They're all mustachioed.
Yeah.
They're all wearing clippity-cloppity shoes. The one guy's got Han Solo's gun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, look at the gun.
Wow.
It looks exactly like Han Solo's gun.
That's pretty cool.
I like
Yeah.
that. Maybe they think that by standing out so much, they'll blend in. Like, it's the kind of thing like, well, those guys would never be secret assassins. Like, you wouldn't be a secret assassin dressed like that.
Yeah, walking that loudly.
Yeah.
I mean, they do look very Italian. Like they're blending in Italy.
Right.
See, I thought they have kind of a Turkish vibe.
Well, Venice is like the gateway to the east.
Yeah. They're sort of, no, that's fair enough. I mean, a fez, I guess that was the fez.
Yeah.
That the fez is sort of a Turkish hat.
I just felt like they were so like well dressed, which is a thing that I associate with Italians.
Yeah. Well, they could also be because Italy hadn't they already invaded Ethiopia by this point, and they've been in North Africa, so maybe someone brought back some fezzes like for their kids, and these guys are like, hey.
Well, let's wear these fezzes.
Well, we're all going to get our fezzes and take pictures of ourselves looking cool in fezzes.
Yeah, clippity-clop all over hell.
Yeah, we're going to clippity-clop all over hell. All of you beautiful people should clippity-clop over to iTunes and clippity-clop us a nice 5-star rating and a nice friendly review and subscribe to us over there so you make sure you always get our newest episodes. And tell the world. It's not enough that you know you love the show. You have to tell the computer that you love the show. And then the computer will tell other people. And that'll be nice for us. So please do that. And Jamie, you're coming back tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Awesome. Everybody, please join us. Jamie's going to be back. You're going to be back. We're all going to be back for minute 33 of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
Catacombs!
I haven't heard you do Brody's oof.
Let me get my stamp out.
Clack.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.